Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, good evening.
Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Let me know that people that can hear me. So based on popular demand, today's class is going to be an interactive session where we'll allow participants ask questions based on the first class, the last class that we had. So our facilitator will be here to answer our questions. And tomorrow we'll have our class as usual. But today we want to have it as an interactive session for everyone to ask their questions based on what they understand or what they don't understand from class so far. If you understand me, just give me a thumbs up. All right, thank you. So I'll hand over to the facilitator now. Yeah, so I got so many feedback that people didn't follow the first class particularly. That has been noted, and the facilitator is working on something to carry everybody along, because our aim is for everybody to be carried along to understand class from first class to the last class. Because if you miss a class, you'll not be able to understand the process, because it's actually a process. So the facilitator will work out something, and I'll communicate with us what he has worked out for us to really be to understand classes so far. Thank you all so much for joining on time. I'll hand over to the facilitator now. Mr. Henry, sir.
All right. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
If
sir.
you can hear me, can you say hi? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Hi, sir.
Good evening. Sorry for coming in late. Like what was said earlier. So we are going to be looking at from the first class to the last class because so many persons did not really join us in the first class. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because we have an aim and a strategy, not just to have a class alone, but to make sure that for everyone that attend all the classes should be able to stand and say, yes, I can do this. So if you miss any class, just can you just pay attention to everything we want to say today, because we're going to recap everything we have said from the first class to the last class. So if you are not there, we would like to quickly review what you have done. So, and I will also want you to bring out any difficulties that you know you face throughout your classes assignment, or you are able to do some things on your own and eventually you could not able to get what was taught in the class. Please, the floor will be open up to you to tell us what you are not able to do, and also to also tell us what you've gained from the class so far, because we promise from the management also that for everything we are going to be having should be impactful. So very well, today we want to hear that. So let me start from the first class. The first class, we are able to look at vividly what is data cleansing. Data cleaning, then what do you mean by when I want to clean a data? So when you want to clean your data set, what do you have to do? Do you need to remove? Do you need to do? What do you have to do? Because I said earlier, before you will have your data set clean, maybe somebody has worked on that data set, or maybe what the data set you have is already structured. But many times you find out that your data set is not like what you're supposed to have, because when you give out your questionnaire and you want to have your real data set, you can't have the main data set because so many things will be wrong with it. So as a data analyst, you should be able to bring out the best of that data. And to bring out the best of the data is to do what? Is to make sure that the data set look like what it's supposed to have. So any data can give you any information, but let me tell you the truth, it might not be the information you need to work on. So as a data analyst, to be able to you should be able to reduce the errors and also be able to reduce everything that will look like error when you analyze, because you should not be asked questions that this figure is not correct. So the first eye is, like somebody will say, or we used to say as a data analyst, is the tools are good, but you should have the mindset of data. What's the mindset of data? Is what do I want to bring out from this data set? So the data you will have when working on health information, health data set will be different from the data you will get when working on data set on market research. Also be different from when you are dealing with socio-economic classes data sets. So you should be able to coin the data set according to what you want to realize. So the first thing is this: your data set should give you the ideal. When I mean ideal, I mean it's ideal information needed from the company, from the organization, to be able to input your information correctly. So with that, we are able to establish that when you see the data set, the first thing you need to do is to use your filter. You filter your data set. Why do you have to filter your data set? Is to be able to find out per row, per column, which of this data set should not be. Okay, and when you have done that, you'll be able to see in a summary of what your data set look like. Not minding the row, not minding the column, not minding the row and not minding the column, the numbers of row and numbers of column. So from there, you can check these rows from beginning to the end, from beginning to the end. So at the end of the day, you can also do a quick data analysis on your data set by using what we call the count e functions. The count it function will be able to count with a condition. Count with a condition. That is what we said. And we are able to practicalize it in the class and also give out an assignment. So the count if function will count your data set accordingly. Like when you have male and female and you want to count what numbers of male do you have, what number of female do you have. So at the process when counting that, you will be able to understand that yes, 80% of my data set shows that it's a female. So, okay, somebody said, base trip said, I'm not seeing your screen. Okay, fine. I am not displaying the screen now. We are trying to do a recap of what we've done in the first class. So base trip, there's okay. So what we've done in the first class for some of us that are not in the class. Okay, so I want us to go with me. Thank you. Thank you for understanding that. So at the process, you'll be able to get your data set in the right format. So when you've gotten that, then you analyze with count if, as I said earlier. So the count will give you the numbers of the particular specific data set you want to get in that row. So then you can also be able to get that the percentage of that number representing in that data set. Like when you have a data set that gives you 20 numbers of male, so you can find the total. So how do you get the total? We also said we make use of the sum if. Sum if. So now today, as I said earlier, it's going to be a theoretical class because when you give out information, one thing about teaching or one thing about learning is you need to check back whether people actually get what you are saying. So we've done the practical. Now today is the theoretical. We're doing the theoretical part of it. So somebody will ask me, somebody might say in their mind, why am I using all these functions? We are using all these functions because it makes the work easier. Imagine you have like 1,000 rows of data set. You will need to find out what this data set look like. So the data cleaning is forcing to understand the skeletal things about the data set. Because if you don't, at the end of the day, when you are doing your interpretation, you will not really understand what to interpret. And if you are dealing with management reporting, you will not know what to recommend. So from precept to precept, the first thing you need to understand is the data before you analyze. Okay, I've met several persons that can make use of different tools, but when they have in the class, they give them polished data. But when you go to the real class, maybe you have an interview, maybe they give you a data set and you start analyzing and you find out that they didn't call me again to the class, to this interview. Why is it? Because you are not able to filter out the real data set to use. So we should not be that kind of person. So you can say, okay, now I'm going for a data set role, data analyst role, and you get to an interview. They'll just send you a data to you. Can you analyze this for us? And after analyzing the data, you will now ask yourself, they did not call me again for interview. Why? It's because even the fact that you can make use of these tools, but you are not able to check whether the data set you have, it might just be a way to check whether you really understand. So the truth of the matter is this: as a data analyst, you need to pay attention to little things that count. What are little things that count? Many data sets have inconsistent variables, and that was what we've been able. I'm still talking about the first class. Inconsistent variables. Some of them are hidden. Yes. Sometimes you have to check when you highlight all by pressing Control A. You find out whether you have hidden data sets. Hidden data set. So when you right to press your right control, the right control of your mouse in your computer or you're using a desktop, you see that hidden, hide. So sometimes they can hide the variables and they want to know, do you really understand Excel? Do you understand data management? Okay, then when you cannot be able to unhide those variables, your answers will not be correct. So that they will not really want to check how good 100% you are with the tools, but would they really want to know whether you really understand what is it to manage a data set. Why? Because several data sets might come into your database by different people that they are not even data analysts. So know that, okay, if you are working as a sales analyst, you are going to be dealing with sales reps. You are going to be dealing with several persons in the organization that don't really know what analyst does. So sometimes when they are entering a data, they will put in a data set that does not be in line with what you have. So the most responsibility of you as a professional data analyst is to filter out and clean. Or the best way you can do that is to make sure that you structure your data set to not accept, it's called validation, what is not clean. I'm still emphasizing on the first class. So when you been able to get that data set, that is when you can make use of what we call analysis. So based on this, I will have, let's just open up for everyone to ask a question from the first class. Ask your theoretical questions, or you have something that's bothering you, you didn't understand. We want to put a light to it, because I bet you after this whole class, throughout the class you're going to have in Extra Global, you are not just going to know the tools, you are also going to be a master. So I call it is a master class. You are going to understand, even you should be able to tell people, to pass that knowledge, to pass the light to other person. So now we open the floor for everyone to ask your question and we put a light to it. Thank you. So that will be coordinated by our module. So by the management to know who the next person. Please go direct to the point, ask with clarity, ask with understanding, and also make sure you get the information back to you. Thank you so much. Please, we are waiting for that. Let's start with Akin. You can start with your question, please.
Question is on this same count if that I made mention the other time. I don't know if it's my Excel. I'm using Excel model 16. So anytime I get to impute that count if, it doesn't give me an answer. Like it just stays there. Or at times it's more like I'm trying to type that count if, like the formula into it. So I don't know what to do. I took a picture of it and I sent it to you via email, but I didn't get any response. So I don't know what to do because I followed the format which you used for the correction. So I did exactly the same, made all the correction in my data, cleaned everything, but then I don't still get why it's still like that, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you? Okay,
Yes.
now you said you are making use of what?
So I'm making use of Excel model 16.
Model 16. That means the Excel is online Excel. Is it Microsoft Excel Model 16? I want to know that.
Yes, sir.
Which system are you using? Let me start with that.
I'm
What
using
kind of system
Toshiba.
are you using? Eh?
Toshiba.
Toshiba. Oh, okay. So Excel Model 16. So this is what you do. For Excel Model 16, do you have the question is this. Can you hear me?
Yes,
When
I
you
can.
press equals to, when you press equals to in your system, like actually we are trying to address the first class. Okay, count if. When you press equals to and press count if, can you be able to find out whether you have a drop down of count if?
Yes, sir, I do. It does reflect, but then when I tap it, I don't know if I should impute the let's say for example A2, then the range and the criteria. I don't know. It doesn't give me an answer.
Okay, the first thing is this. You can have the count if. You can have the count if. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I
Hello,
can,
can
sir.
you hear me? Okay, to look
Yes, sir.
when you put the count if, the first thing is this. You know that there is a condition to that. So when you put your count if, now this is what we do. Can you share your screen and do it so I can show you how to do it. And everyone, please, if you also have that issue, can you go with Tolulope Akinloye so we can solve this once and for all? Tolulope, can you share your screen as we look at it together? So I will
Right
tell
now,
you
I'm
what
using
to
my
do. You are using what?
right now I'm using my
Hello,
phone. Now, can you hear
your
me?
phone. I can hear you.
Yes,
You said now you are using your
yes.
phone. You are using your phone.
Right now I'm using my phone. Yes. I don't know if anyone is having the issue so they can share their screen with us. But right now I'm using my phone.
Okay. Favor or Jenny. Favor. Okay, don't worry. Let's ask. Is anyone having that issue? We have Victoria also. Is anyone having that issue so we can share your screen so they can practicalize it in the class? Everyone will see it. If you are, can you just speak up? Please, today is your day. Please, I would like to hear your voice. If you are also having that issue with count if, share your screen and show us
so that we can do it together. So it will not be like it seems this man is doing a magic. So Victoria, do you have that issue too? Favor? Who else? If you are, can you just show your screen? Okay. If you're not showing your screen, I can call someone to do that. Okay. Can I call someone to do that? Okay. Nathan, show your screen and show us how to do your count if. Nathan. J. Nathan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. So I'm working on my system, but I'm actually using my phone for the meeting now.
So if you are not using your phone now, we'll be collecting money from you people. So if you are using your phone, yes, we are going to get the class rep. And if I call you and you are using your phone, you are going to pay for that. So
let me see if I can connect to my laptop and share
so
screen.
I'm calling another person.
All right.
Pray I should not call you. Pray I should not call you. Ibrahim Babangida, how are you today? Can you share your screen and show us how to do your counting?
Sorry, sir. I'm currently at the hospital. My son is ill. I am just connecting with my phone.
So
I'm sorry.
We presently have 3,000. Presently, we have 3,000. No problem. 3,000. So 3,000. Okay. Williams, can you pay them out? Williams, can you pay them out? Williams, are you here? Hello? William is on this call. Williams, can you pay them out? Okay, let's call a girl. Please, no problem. Beatrice, help us. Beatrice, thank you.
But I don't know how to do anything. I wasn't listening to get corrections.
But we are asking questions. Who and who have that same problem? You did not talk.
And mine is not exactly what she asked, but like I put my question.
She asked a question that she could not be able to use account if anytime she wants to do that. So, okay. And that was giving her a problem. So, and I know some of us submitted assignments and we are able to do it. So I was calling us. Okay, let's call Emmanuel. Emmanuel, can you help us? Okay, no, this Emmanuel is one of our management. Right, yeah. Sorry. Okay. Mr. Femi, Sholeye Femi, what about you? So no problem. Let's just look at this. So we're going to take the next question and I will do, if no one can do it, I will clear all the questions at the same time. So Victoria, can you ask a question, please? Victoria, please, your question.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, Blessing, right? So let's take Victoria. Yes, Victory, you are raising your hand. Can you ask a question, please? Can you ask a question, Victory?
Hello?
Okay, Victory is not asking question.
Hello?
Okay, Blessing, go on.
Yes,
Blessing,
sir.
you can come up with your.
Sir,
go on
the
with
assignment you gave us, when I was trying to do the average, the numbers keep changing. Hello?
No problem. The number keep changing because yes, Blessing, let me tell you the reason. So when you click on that question, you will find out that the question is having a command. Why I did that? Because you cannot share with another person. So everyone will not have the same answer. So that's the beauty of data. So when you check the question, you are seeing round between. So I put a random number between a particular number. So that is what I was able to generate those numbers. So there was a command on those numbers. When you click on it, you find out that there was a command on that that shows you that this question, you can't even send it to somebody. So when you send it to someone, eventually the question, the numbers will change. So when you click any cell there, the numbers will change. So that is why. So the question is not really having any issue, but just that I'm having what we call the way to just make sure that we can't change the number to something else. So it's having a command, and the command is, let me just show you. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Can we also, if you can see my screen, can you pump up? You can see my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. Now look at this. You can see random between. So random between. So there was a command here, and that command is to tell you that you can't change. So from here, I was able to pick a number. So it's also a class we are going to show you that you can ask Excel to pick a number from 2,000 to 3,000, and it will generate the number for you. So that's what I did. So if you see, as I was picking it, as I was going to the next one, the number will keep changing. So you can't really copy the number. So, but eventually when you work on the numbers, and you get your real answer. Okay, that's what happened. Blessing. Thank you. So Victory, you say you are talking.
All right,
So
sir.
can we hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, I can.
Sorry, I was talking before, but you couldn't hear me. I think it was something with my
Okay.
laptop, but I've done it now.
We can hear you now.
Okay, great. So I pretty much understand the functions and all. Where I'm having my confusion is in the data cleaning. So the correction you sent, I saw that in the age, I think the age, and then whether they were married or single, and then the institution or something, if there was secondary, tertiary, and all. The age, I understood how that was cleaned, because basically if I write 37, that automatically falls between 26 to whatever. But then for the other one, I was a bit confused. How do you clean data that you're not sure what the person was trying to write at all? So because most of the words were like gibberish, like SC, whatever, whatever, whatever. So how do you automatically assume that the person is, because I feel like I can assume that the person wanted to write married. Somebody else can assume the person wanted to write single. And then we end up having different data sets. So that's where I'm a bit confused. Like, how do you come to the conclusion that this person was trying to write married and then replace whatever they wrote there with married? And I don't know if the question is clear, because that's the only part that's confusing me a bit.
Okay, Victoria, thank you for the question. I like that. That is what we call the first thing you need to know is this. Everyone, as a data analyst, not just you, for all of us, is this. When you are dealing with data set, there's always what we call a data frame. There's a data frame. Now, what is this? When you want to do your final project, eventually your supervisor will tell you, you are printing 100 questionnaire. When you are printing your 100 questionnaire, you eventually know the total number. Now, in market research, in research as a consultant, you will produce what we call the matrix, data matrix. You are going to use your data matrix to check your income data. Because before we say use the missing data, because you will know the numbers of data that is missing. But we as a consultant, as a professional, we make sure that we don't have a missing data. So if you don't have your data matrix, you will not know how many of your data is back to you. So this is it. You have your data matrix. And what's the data matrix talking about? First, it's going to tell you how many numbers of mail you are expecting to come back to you. Because you cannot just go out and start giving anybody question. Start answering. Anybody cannot answer your question. You already have, we call it a target audience. you need to get. We are talking to 10 males. We are talking to 5 females. How do we pick this? Respectively, we are going to pick this based on the study. Example, if you are dealing with family planning study, eventually you should know, or child spacing, that you are going to be talking to more percentage of female than male. Okay? Then, from that understanding, from your research protocols, from research ethics, from your brief, before that research instrument, you are going to put it in your proposal that based on the topic, we are talking to 20% of these you go to be answered by female, while 80% will answer by male. So by that time, you're going to have the ideal numbers of what you are looking for. Now, when you now have your data set, it's much if you don't have a closed data set. Maybe you are able to do an open-ended questionnaire, which is not really advisable at this age. Then the first thing you need to do, you go back to your matrix and check, okay, 10, I have to have 10 for female, and you have to have 5 for male. So you check in that your data set and find out how many do I have, how many is complete. So it's from there you will able to balance it up with your matrix. So why will you do that? Because you already have a map. You are not manipulating the data, but you are bringing it back to the map you have. And that is when you have what's called data management. So as a data analyst, you should be able to know what is a data management before data analysis. So the first thing, you are able to manage the data based on the proposal you have. Because you can't go to a client and tell them, after setting the proposal, that you are talking to 80 females and where you are talking to 20 males and your data set does not speak like a proposal. That means there's a problem. So with data management, which is why you point out that, which I love, you should be able to solve this. And everyone, please take notes. As a standard, as a professional data analyst, you should be able to work with a data frame. So many organizations, so many consultants don't know this. But at the end of the day, when you are presenting this, you will not be able to get all details questions who does not follow you to the field. So why we do that? So you can have a frame of skeletal or what you are looking for. By that, a problem will going to be solved. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Victory.
Yes, sir. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Okay. Anyone wants? Are we have another question? So we can move to the next class. So, okay, Stephen, your question, please.
Everyone, I think network threw Mr. Henry off. Let's just hold on.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
okay, Mrs. Faith, I'm here. Thank you. All right. Stephen, your question, please.
Now, thank you, Mr. Henry, for this opportunity. Although I've sent the question as a message, in-call message, but I'll repeat my question. During the calculation of the last data sets that we are given, I was having a problem with my frequency. Whenever I use the FX formula, I was always getting 0 and some of it 1. So I wanted to know, what was I not doing right?
Okay, you said if you make use of what? Your if function.
The FX, yes, the FX as in formula.
According to FX, it's if function.
That
if function.
What function in the Excel? I was always getting when I tried to manipulate, as in to get figures for my frequency. You know, there are questions that was asked, frequency and percentage.
Yes.
So I was trying to get the frequency, and I noticed that my frequency was giving me 0. Some of it were giving me 1. So I was a little bit confused, as in trying to understand what was I not doing right.
Okay, thank you, Nina. I like you said manipulate. We are not manipulating. What we are doing is that we are getting it. So, can you share your screen with us and practicalize what you did? So we'll solve the question if you can.
I'm sorry, I'm using my phone. Except I have to log into my laptop because I'm in transit. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
I will
using
presently have we have 5,000. So class, our proposed class captain should note that. Okay. Now, what will happen is this: when you are having 0 or no answer in Excel, it is Excel cannot give you bad answer and Excel cannot give you error. It is called miscalculation or mischoosing. That means that you did not pick the right command. Now, when you are using any function, Excel has this sensitivity, which I said in the first class, to tell you what the next step is. If you don't follow that next step, you get either error or you get 0. So what I will say is this: when you press your if and put your bracket, and let me tell you, some people does not know bracket. Bracket, the first is what? Who can tell me what the first is? Bracket, the first one is brack, and the last one is ket. Do you know that? If you know that, can you pump up? Okay. So great. When you put your brack, so you will see a command or a direction of what you should do. If you do otherwise, you might not get your desired answer. So don't be in a haste. Why? When you are writing, also write in your function. Write the right function and follow the step. Okay, what do I mean by that? Look at this, class. Or everyone look at this. Okay, sorry. Yes. Okay. Can we see this? Can we all see this? If you can say yes, please.
Yes, please, I can.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. If you can, some said yes. Now look at this. If I can put this, what is it showing? Is that I should make use of what? Can you speak up, please? I should make use of what? Hello? Now, the first thing is this. I should make use of what?
We can't even see your cursor.
You're not seeing your cursor. Your
I
cursor
can't
is
see your
not showing your
See
cursor.
there.
You use this equals. It's equals to sign.
Equal to.
Okay, let's do it like this. Let me make it so big. Don't look at my cursor. Look at this. Can you see this?
Yes.
Can you see this now?
Yes.
So if I make use of my if function, so what's the first thing? What's it telling me? Now we should do what?
One.
Connect and start with your is equal sign.
So
Equals
yes,
if,
we have if equals if, and I
bracket
put my bracket.
bracket.
So the next thing, there was a word there. Can you see a word? It's showing us what? Logical test, right?
Oh,
Can't see.
Who can you see that?
log
Can we all see that?
Can't see
logical
anything.
test.
Can we all see logical?
No.
I can't see. I can't see anything. I can't even see your cursor.
No, sir.
You
No,
can't
we
see
can't.
this. Okay. Now let's go this way. So let me show all my entire screen. Don't worry. Let's go like this. Okay. Now, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your
Can we
screen.
see this now? Can you see this now?
Yes, we can see. Yes, yes.
If
You can see, right?
logical test.
Okay. What's it showing us?
If logical
There was a
test.
word Excel is showing us.
Yes,
If logical
If
test. So
logical
If
test.
logical
thank you, sir.
bracket value.
Thank you. Yes. See, these steps, the one that is showing this color, what is that? The one I'm pointing at is showing color what?
Blue or
Color
purple?
blue.
Blue.
The first, thank you. The one that is showing the color blue is telling you this is the first step. If you don't follow this step, you will not get the right answer. So Excel is sensitive enough to tell you the step to follow. So please, you need to understand. You need to just follow this step. So after using logical, Excel says, please use your logical test. After the logical test, you use your what? Now, what's the logical test? That means if you say this place is less than this column, that's the logical test. You find that when we have used that, that is not showing any color again.
Yeah.
So when you put your bracket, it goes to the next one. Can you see?
Value if.
The next one is what? Value if true.
Value
What's it
if
saying?
true.
Okay, what is
Value
saying
if
here is, what is saying here is this. If this your logical statement is true, what should I say? It's like when you send somebody to a place and say, go and paint some buildings for me in a particular location. When you see a white building, paint it to blue. So this is the condition. When you see a white building, that is the logical statement. Then what is the value if true? Paint it to blue. So that means if that person goes to that location or that street, the first thing the person will be looking at is what?
Building.
White.
White building.
White building, right?
White building.
white building. Yeah.
White building. Yes, that's the logical. That is the logical statement. And if the person find a white building, what would the person do?
Paint black.
Paint
it to blue, right? That is the value if true.
Blue.
So that's the value if true. So that means that if the person did not find the white building, would the person do anything?
No.
No.
No. So that is value if false. So what I'm using a real scenario to explain Excel function. So when you are also doing it, you interpret it the way I was taught by one great man is that for everything you learn, don't always use the language of the teacher. It is better to use the language you can understand. So that was why in the North, the teaching at the right level said they proposed to the government that they want some of their students, some of their pupils to be learning in Hausa language. So you can understand with your own local language, interpret it your own way. So this will not you will not just cram the functions, but you will understand the function. So by this, I'm sure I've been able to explain that to the hair. So now what you do is please try as much as possible to do more. Do more. Okay. Favor, you are raising your hand. Can we hear you?
Okay, good evening, sir.
You're welcome, Ojane.
Thanks, sir. My question for concerning the first class, some of us were having network issues and we're not able to follow through from the beginning down to the end. So when the assignment was given, it was as if we were seeing it for the very first time, like without having any prior explanation. So I don't know if it's possible for you to help us do a video comprising the beginning of the class down to the end, so that we can work at home after the classes and follow through to be able to understand. Because now, the beginning of that first class, I don't know anything inside. The only thing I know how to do is to filter the data set. That's the only thing I know how to do in the first class. Concerning the second class, when I tried doing my assignments, I noticed that my values were changing. Like when I imputed the average at the beginning, it gave me the average for the sales something sharp. Then when I went to do the average for the other group, the other place I needed to do average for to use and calculate, my figures changed entirely. Some that was having customers of 40 turned 25, some turned 38. So I just did it like that and sent it. I don't know whether it's my system or it's from my end, or I'm not actually doing the right thing.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank you,
sir.
Favor. The first question you asked, thank you so much. The management will get back on that. We are going to look at the management will look at that and give the right and a comprehensive and clear answer to that. And I know we have taken note to that. Thank you so much. Okay, and the second question, I said it's blessing also.
Sorry, Mr. Henry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry if I may. I think for her first question, number one, I would like to say we understand that during these classes, we're bound to have internet glitches, right? But on the other hand, if we would have to go back every other time because of people that have internet glitches, we cannot move forward. It is amazing that a large percentage of the people that requested for a recap for the first class, they are not here today. This is just about 50% of the people who started this class. And that is not really encouraging. A lot of the people that requested for a recap, they are not even here today. And secondly, it's also amazing that a class that is as practical as this, people are using their mobile phone. It's okay to have your mobile phone by the side. Then you practice with your laptop. But if you just want to do everything on your mobile phone, hoping that when you get home or when you now have time to bring out your laptop, then you practice it. Then all of the errors you find then that you could not address in class, you now send us a mail that, oh, we need to come back to the class. We can't keep going around the circles. Yes, the management is going to discuss to know if we're going to share videos, right? We're already working on that. But it is important that we all take this class seriously. Follow through. We are going to have internet glitches. Definitely we'll work around that. But a lot of people are going to also have internet glitches that will want us to go back on every class. So if we must move forward, I think we should prepare better next time. The management prepares better every day. We do appraisals after every class and we'll find a way to make it better, improve on every class. And that's why we're having a recap today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Percy. To addition to that, you're going to find our videos on our YouTube channel, which will be shared to you. And I will also need to also say something. You cannot learn and data analysis with your phone. One of the things you need to invest is the tools you use for the phone. Then the phone, you will just think you are getting it right until you want to do your assignment. The truth of the matter is, we need to understand that the aim, one of the vision that we carry in Scroll, is to make sure that you learn, not just to learn, you know it. So at the end of the day, you are going to become an ambassador. So at the end of the day, because it's bigger than what we think, you can call upon you and say, okay, Blessing, you can take up this class for us. This person, you can take up the class for us. Please practicalize everything in the class. As though I was surprised that we are using our phone. That's just the truth. So that means that all what I'm saying, some of us didn't really even get it. Please, using our system will be the best way for us to understand this. Thank you. So let's just answer the last question. If I can remember, the last question you said that you are having change of numbers. So I also answered, Blessing also asked this question, and I said, this is a way to know whether we've been able to, maybe you shared your question, you asked your neighbor, you asked your friend or colleague how to do it, and you will just find a way to just know. I want us to know that there's a function there. When you click that data set, you see round between. I said it. So I random the number. I picked a random number from 200 to 3,000. So as you are working on the data set keep on changing. I randomize the number. So your answer will not be the same with my answer. So sometimes when you go to companies, that's the same thing they do. When they give you questions, but you know those figures are not just normal figures. So you can ask your neighbor, what's your answer? Or someone sitting beside you. So the number is correct. The number will keep on changing because there was a random number there. So I used a function in Excel called random between. So the number will not be less than 2,000 and the number will not be more than 3,000. So your system is good. Nothing happened to the figure. Everything is right, just that there's a function on the figure. Thank you so much. So any other question?
Hello,
Any
sir.
other question? I'm with you.
I want thank you for the answers, because I was actually confused and I had to just stop doing my assignment. I thought something was wrong with my setting, with the setting of my laptop. So if we had foreknowledge of what to expect, then we will not be working in confusion. So I don't know if we can have that assignment, we can have like tomorrow or maybe tonight to still go right. Now that we know that numbers were changing, not because of setting or anything. Because somebody like me, every time I went back to the email, I had to go back again and download, feeling that there was something wrong with my laptop or something. So I just got a bit frustrated and I just stopped working on it. So,
all right, thank you, Beatrice. So what I was trying to do, not just to give you assignment, but I want us to know that you are a data analyst. So the first thing when you see a data is to play with the data. So you're supposed to click through to find out whether there are functions on that data set. So next time for everyone, when you see a data set, don't just start working on the data set. Click through the data set and look at the functions, whether you have functions there. So what happened is that some of us, we are just working on the data set. So please, next, look at code numbers or their functions. So if there are functions, what kind of functions was used before you start using your data set? So sometimes, very soon, I will not be sending you just hard-coded numbers. So you will see a figure that was coming from another function. So look at it very well before you start working. So nothing happened to your system. The data is correct, but just that there are functions there. So you are going to be giving, every one of us, you are going to make sure that you work on that data set. And the next class, please don't log in with your system, with your phone. Log in with your system. The next class, we are going to be doing not just assignments, a classwork. A classwork. So we do a classwork. After the classwork, then assignment. So from analysis, from my evaluation, I found out that some of us are just waiting for assignment. We are not going to wait for assignment alone. We are going to be doing a classwork, then we move to assignment. Thank you. Akinle, you are still raising your hand. Nathan, you are still raising your hand. Favor, you're still raising your hand. Do you still have a question before we round up?
Okay.
sir.
Yes, I do. First, I would like to ask from the first part. So, like what some one of our students complained about, the having a data that like for instance that married and not married, are we supposed to be sure? So I want to ask, what if we are dealing with money? What if we're dealing with money, like value of money, and there's a mistake there's a mistake on that data set? How do we assess it, and how do we confirm that this is a mistake? And two, the second assignment, so I don't know if I did the right thing. I noticed that there was we had a function there on that one between. So what I did um, was to copy all the numbers. So because I found out that anytime I use my average and try to get my high performer and low performer, the count for my high performer sometimes changes, and when I do my own random counting, is a different counting. Like for instance, if I have, like for instance, 4 low performer and I do my average function and everything, instead of having 4, I'll go back to count and I'll see 5. So it just confuses. So I had to copy all my numbers and paste it again for the run between function to keep to stop changing. That is, my values to stop changing. So I don't know if I did the right thing.
Okay, Nathan, great one. As I said, if your function is correct, just leave the number. The number will keep on changing. It was just a command. So you did the right thing. So nothing happened to the number. Just what you need to find out is if your function is working well. So I like that because I was trying to open our people to that. So the second assignment. Okay, somebody said, Beatrice said, can we still submit the second assignment? Yes, submit. You can still submit that. So nothing happened, Nathan. And if your functions are correct, no problem. Everything is well with that.
Okay, sir.
So thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So, sir, my question is, sir, you said like I think someone made mention of the first assignment you gave us, there were some gibberish kind of words like that, if I can remember, GG, RS, and stuff like that. So, sir, are you trying to say that when we're being given a data, you are going to give us like, okay, let's say for example, you have age range and then you have marital status, are they going to give you like how I put it, a guideline to work with, so you'll be able
Okay.
to know, okay, if you impute this or I'm not to add beyond this? Because I think that was part of the mistake I made. There were some that were having 67. Instead of me to like put 45 plus years, I put 67 plus years because I didn't have something to like to be like a guideline. So that's my question, sir.
Okay, Akiloye, great. I answered this question before. It seems favor somebody asked that question. I said you are going to be you, not another person. As a data analyst, you're also a data manager. Okay, or some company call it management information system manager. So you are not just analyzing a data, you are owning a data. It is your data. So you are not just analysis is the more or less like the when you are almost done. But from the initial stage, you should know what the picture of the data you want to make use look like. It is that picture that you will now use to tailor through your analysis so that there's going to be a uniformity with the figures you are presenting. So you are also the one that will have a data frame So you already are going to have a data frame of the analysis you are going to have. It's like when you want to design a clothes, you already have the mindset as a tailor. You already know the kind of clothes you want to make. So each time you tell somebody to come and test the clothes to know whether they look like what you want to make. Okay, when a client comes to you as a tailor, they will tell you, I want to make a row and boba. So they already know the kind of style. So it is that picture. You have a sketch of the clothes you want to sew. So the sketch is in as a data analysis is called the data frame, or we call it a data matrix. So when you are analyzing, that means your product, your end product should look like what you sketched, should look like what you want to design. So this is it. So that is data management. So there was going to be a data management before data analysis. So data management, data cleansing, these things are skills. So when you call yourself a data analyst, they might ask you, are you a data manager? So you should have a data management skills, data cleansing skills, data wrapping skills. So these things is what you're going to have. So to have idea of what is missing and what to add. So that is it. Thank you, Akinloye. So you can bring your hand down. Sylvester is asking a question. Nathan, you can bring your hands down. We have answered your question. Sylvester, it's only Sylvester. Let's ask Sylvester's question and we'll wrap it up and we go for today. Odion, your question, please. Odion Sylvester, we are waiting for you.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Ian. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay. It's really not the question. Okay, it's really not the question. I'm trying to second. Yeah, can you hear me? I'm trying to second what the other speaker said. She was requesting for the video of the first class, if that's possible, really, because there were so much glitches that first day. I think today is clearer, today is better compared to the first class, so that I personally would really need it, because I have to. I'm a very good student. I'm with my laptop here, but I will really need that so that I can do the assignment.
Problem. Thank the management to get. We have answered that and we get to you. Please, base trip logistic, and also we want you to always use your name so that we can communicate clearly. Base trip logistic is the name of the company. You should be able to use your real name, please, so we'll know who and who to call, who we are dealing with. Are you a company? Are you a person? Please change that name, and so that we can next class base trip logistic. Please change your name. So thank you. Stephen, do you still have a question? You are still raising your hand. Can bring your hand down. Okay.
Yes, please. Okay. Yes, please. So I'm sorry. Thank you once again, Mr. Henry, for this opportunity, and I also want to thank Mr. Percy for I think it's probably a faculty member, for the response he gave. But I want to ask a question: is this class being recorded?
Okay. This class. Okay. Yes.
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 Like, do you record the classes you give us? So is there any possibility that the recordings can be shared to us? Because I understand what the other lady said concerning network glitches.
Problem.
And this is Nigeria. It's not our fault we have these glitches. And some of us are really serious. So it's not just about doing the assignment. It's not just about doing the assignment.
The management will get back to that.
Also understand.
The management will get back to everyone, please. No problem. Okay. No problem. We'll get back to you on that. No problem with that. Nathan, by the power invested on me, Nathan is going to be our class rep. Can you pump up for him? Nathan will be our class rep. Pump up for him, please. Pump up, clap for him, clap for him, clap for him, clap for him. Beatrice will be the assistant. Beatrice is our assistant. So if you come into this class with your phone, we'll impeach you. So thank you, everyone. So we'll tell you the next class what you need to do. My name is Jonathan. Jonathan, yeah. His name is Jonathan and Beatrice. Thank you so much. Okay. So I will also want to leave this before we round up the class.
Sorry,
Getting
sir.
your sister. Favor. Yes, you raising your hand.
Yes,
Okay.
Sir, please, Mr. Person said something about us following through with our laptop. That is from the beginning of the class. Since it's an interactive class, we are supposed to follow through. And while we are teaching us, we are supposed to be practicing with our systems. But the first class and second class, the data was not shared on time. It was shared as the class was going on. And if we are to follow through while you're teaching us from the beginning, we are supposed to have the data before you start teaching us, so that as you are pressing the average, we are pressing the average too, so that there will not be any reason to give an excuse that we don't have the data. That's why we're not able to start on time. Because I think for me personally, since the data is not there before you start, when I get the data at the middle of the class, to now go back and start while you're already at the middle, it will make us lose our concentration and get distracted. I don't know if there's a way we can work on it. If you have to start, okay, if you start taking us by, let's say, 9:05, maybe by 9:04, the data should be shared so that we can download it and follow from the beginning. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Favor. We'll look.
Thanks.
So
Thanks so much, Favor. Thanks so
you.
much, Favor.
Thank you.
That's a very good one. And we're taking that under advisement, and we'll ensure that the data is shared ahead of class, and it's going to be shared to only those in the class. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Percy. And the class rep, both the class rep and the assistant, please kindly send your contact to the management for every needful information. Thank you so much. Innocent, do you still have a question? Sylvester, you guys you don't want us to hand off this class? Innocent, please, you can send in your question.
For any further questions, if I may, there's an email that I dropped in the first class. If you have questions, to drop it so that we can treat it before class. However, I will drop the email address to reach us again, where the facilitator can at least go and check for questions. I'll drop it on the Telegram group. I hope all of us here are part of it. Please, if you are in this class, make sure you have a laptop. You cannot join with your phones. We are emphasizing it because you won't get good value if you don't have a laptop. If you don't have access to a laptop to practice, to just be head knowledge, you won't be able to practice. So please, let's do what we can do. We try to improve on each class as management. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Do you still have anything? Anybody? I hope all our questions were answered. Victory, Jay, Nathan, Beatrice, Tolulo, Akin or so. All your questions, were they all answered? Please confirm that all your questions were answered. Nina,
yes,
Stephen.
Yes, ma, they've been answered.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? The absence of any other question, Mr. Henry, sir.
So, thank you so much, everyone. Please do as much as possible. Do more data. Be a data person. Love your data. Do more. Don't wait for the class. You can also get the data for yourself. Pascalize every other thing you need to. And I wish you all the best. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy what's left of our evening. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.